if you've seen any of my videos, you know I love music, and as such, as a consequence from DJing, I got interested into producing as well. That's as far as I got. I didn't I didn't get as far as producing whole tracks so far, but I can make some pretty damn good things, such as kicks. So I'm going to show you now how I make a kick in Reason 4. I've had Reason 4 for over 9,000 years, so I've stuck with it. I bought it many years ago. Buy everything because it supports things, blah blah blah. I'm going to open up a Combinator and Thor. Thor is your friend, not just in the movies. He is a good guy. Alright, now I'll open up also underneath that a Maelstrom. It won't do anything, so hold shift when you lay it down. Then all it's going to be doing is mod A is going to go into CV1. Mod A will be this down this quarter pipe, one shot, so it only fires once when the note fires once. I will have the note actually triggered by a matrix thing, a sequencer. Hold shift, otherwise the world will end when you do this. Note will go into Combinator CV in, and gate will go into gate. Alright, now I will just have four short little notes, kicks. I say kicks because this is what it will sound like. Ooh, that's a bit loud. Let me just make sure. So, sorry, I had to set the levels there so I can hear it properly as well. Right, now we've got that. What I will do is that CV1 input will be controlling the oscillator 1 pitch. So there, and then we'll turn this up to about 70 roughly. It works good, I find. So far so good. That sounds like some kind of shitty Atari kick or something. So filter envelope I'll turn off right now, and no sustain on it later when I bring it in. The release over there. This release on the amp envelope will control the length of the actual kick. So let's put it really nice and short, and then I'll play with that, and you'll see what happens. I think I've got it still a bit too loud in my head. Phones. So let's try that again. The other thing is the polyphony on that Thor should be just 1. That's how I like it, otherwise they phase with each other. Phasing! So we don't want that. Maybe. You can do what you want. Alright, now I've got that. Next thing we'll do is some hooking up of the things. Alright, I'll have rotary 1 on the Combinator controlling the length of the kick. I'll just call it length, which is, as I just said, the release on the amp envelope. So select Thor, rotary 1, amp. Come on, release. There we go. I don't want it to go all the way up and down, as you'll see now. I don't want that. I want it to go from like there to there. So we'll go, let's say 10 to 50, maybe. 47. Let's see how that sounds. Yeah, okay, I'm happy. If you're happy, good. If you're not, change it yourself. It's up to you. You can change whatever you want. Alright. So that's set. Now let's compress the living daylight out of this. Alright, let's do that. Select the thought and then click, scream 6 times, which will give you 3 of them. Alright, there you go. If you have correctly clicked 6 times onto the screen, you'll have 3 pop up there. All pre-wired. Well, if you first selected thought, they would have wired to it, so it's all good. We'll bypass the first one, which we'll use for distortion of some type later, but first off we'll do tape compression. What tape machines used to do is when the sound wave would go above the actual level of that the tape could record, it would just squash the sound, and just squash it with the powerful tape muscles. So that's what's going to happen here. It will compress it down. I've set the compression all the way to the max on both, and the speed, which is basically just kind of where the treble or something like that, where that comes in. I will uncompress it or make it louder later, but first let's hear it on completely compressed again, because of if I bleed from my ears I have to stop the video. Now let's just turn the length down a bit. Oh, have I not done this? Ah, okay. I'll actually get rid of delete tracks. Okay, so I'll get rid of that, so the play will always be on. Okay, no, don't worry about my rambling. That's good. So this should be turning down the length. Yes, it is. All right. Not entirely sure why that just happened, but let's just fix that up again. Okay. Alright, let's play with that. We're getting somewhere. We're really messing this up now. Good, that's good. Now let's set down the frequency. Okay, yeah, we'll turn down the frequency a bit. Basically that's a low pass filter for the kick, I suppose. Now that's cut off the high frequencies and left the low ones in. It passes the low ones and cuts off the high ones. Okay, ooh, that's a hint. That's a hint I'll explain later. Now, we will now turn up the envelope knob a little bit, because what that will do is it will give it some of that high frequency just at the very start, and then it kind of ducks down. So just that little punch to the kick. So I've set it kind of short there, and release, whatever, a bit of release. See? Works. Punch. You always need punch to your kick, otherwise you're incomplete. Like boxes, they don't kick, so they don't expect it. It's good to be unexpected or unpredictable. Yeah. All right. Now let's destroy something beautiful. Let's destroy something beautiful, shall we? One thing I'll do is I'll wire up this scream. I'll call it something beautiful. Yeah. Okay. Something beautiful. There we go. I will set this button to turn on something beautiful. So that will be something beautiful there. Button 2 will be enabled. Now the trouble is though, that will switch between bypass and off. See? Off, bypass, off, bypass. We don't want that. We want that to be between on and off, so between 2 and 1. 0 is off and we don't want that, so this should be correct. Lights off, it's on bypass. Lights on, it's on. Okay, good, perfect. So beauty on off. It's actually going to be quite ugly. The damage control. So we'll also have to wire that up. So rotary 2 will do damage control. Beautiful, and we'll leave it on a full spectrum from all the way up to down. So let's see what that sounds like. Actually, what I'll do is I'll change this to sine wave. There we go. Alright. Also, you can mess around with which, that's just overdrive, which distortion type you want. Let's try digital, just for kicks. Okay, we're not going to do that. I was just had to do that. Let's try fuzz. Fuzz should be good. Okay, I'm happy with that. You can play with that if you want. Try different ones, turn the knobs, see exactly what happens. I mean, the body, I'm not going to get into that. That will just really mess things up in a good way as well. I'll just show you. But that's something for you to play with. Okay, now, let's see. We've got that. Okay, how about the shaper? How about, yeah. No, okay, I'm not gonna take, this is gonna take too long. I'll just go with the shaper. I'll set this button 3 to control the shaper, so back to Thor. Button 3, shaper on off. Okay. Off. And rotary 2 will be shaper drive. Alright, so better set that up as well. S. Just find that so awkward, this little arrow here. Shaper drive, alright. And again, we'll get it's rotary 3. Drive, there we go. Yeah, that should, yep, that turns the drive up and down, this button on and off. There we go. Have I set this? Okay, beautiful. Yep, I can use that. Now, and I have the button at my fingertip. Now, let's see. Yeah, it is a soft clip, so just softly clip the shit out of it. If you go hard clip, it will hard clip it down. It will be a bit similar, but just more. Actually, I will. Why not? I'll put this rotary on. Should I use a button? Button? No, rotary. Rotary, why not? Shaper type. The type of shaper. So that will be rotary 4. Shaper type. There we go. Now, turning that knob will actually change the type of shaper. There you go. Sine. That sounds mellow. Sine is just a sine. So let's. I don't think it's going to be very mellow, but let's just try it. It's on. What's always interesting is the interaction between the shaper and the damage. So the scream. So let's do that. We could give the whole thing a bit more kick, give the kick a bit more kick by just making the, as the sound comes in, you just cut it off quickly and then back up, so it'll be like a boom, woo. So we could do that with a compressor. How much time? I don't know, I've probably got time. You got all the time in the world, you're watching a long video anyway, so let's do that. M-class compressor up here above the Thor. I mean, you can put it wherever you want, but this makes the wiring simple. The output of the whole thing will not go into the combinator, it goes into the compressor, and then it goes from the compressor out there. We will put the attack and release all the way down, just so just quickly just ducks a little bit and then back up. Ratio, I read in a book, Mix With Your Mind, I think. Oh man, if that guy saw this, he would slap me. If any of you saw me in person, you should just slap me. But he said, I think ratio should be about 4 and this about, oh, I don't know, I think he said 13 or 12 or something. Sounds good. I think that was his recommendation, but if he saw the attack in the thing, I highly recommend the book though, Mixing With Your Mind, or Mix With Your Mind. It's like an X-ray with headphones of someone's head. Anyway, on the cover, but the book is full of really good techniques. Nothing to do with Reason, but you can apply them because Reason is so realistic in terms of how things work. It's a rack, you wire things up, you use the instruments. Anyway, let's see how that sounds. That's noticeable. I'm not sure if you can hear it over there through the YouTubes, but you may get lost through all the tubes. But it's noticeable. And again, you can play with that. That's totally up to you. Yeah, a lot of people don't use compressors for what they're supposed to be used for, to shape the volume of the actual sound. They just do what I did initially with the tape compression, just compress, decompress the whole thing, which is fine and really fun, but you know, it's not for everyone. I mean, it's not for everything. I'll change the oscillator type just so you can hear the difference between the different waveforms, and it really does make a difference. Again, the interaction between the very beginning oscillator and everything else I've done will just be immense, so I'm not going to go through everything again. Is there anything else I should do in my limited time here? Oh well, I could do a reverb and all kinds of things, but the video is probably dragging on to about 20 minutes now, so I think I'll call it quits somewhere around there. Anything else I need to do? It's, you know... Yes, of course, the hint. This is a synthesizer, it is not a sampler. Right now you're not sampling a kick, you're not just, you haven't opened up a redrum and put in a sample of someone else's kick. You created your own from that little, very crappy, what's it called, bypass all effects from this. Actually, that's probably some of the way into the whole process already, but yeah, just that boop, boop, boop. From that sound we come up with this. Alright, therefore when you press a note, what octave am I in? Yeah, when you press a note you're triggering it off. However, all these other notes will trigger off a different pitch. That's C. 1 or whatever, 0, I think I pitched it down anyway, but any of the other notes will play a different note. Okay, so you can literally play it like an instrument. And if you play a single note, long one. Wait. Maybe I should set it a bit longer. I could have the sustain up, I suppose. That's what I was also going to say. By playing with the release of the envelope, the amp envelope and the filter envelope, and how some of the other things tail off, you can have this thing that comes back up after you let go. See? That should happen without the sustain actually. Yeah, as long as it's long enough. As long as the note is long enough. Alright, I'll save this and I'll put the downloadable Combinator file down here somewhere in my pants, and you can reach in and grab that file and put it on your screen. So check that out. I encourage you to just experiment with everything. Assign things to stuff, and then you can just physically be changing it as you're messing with things. This is really fun with acid bass lines. I think I'll do that next very soon. Practice and enjoy, and nothing but love.